It is not people who hold ideas, but ideas that hold people. Have you ever felt like the rhythm of your thoughts plays a melody the world does not hear? Perhaps you've been told to temper your feelings with reason's cool embrace, or scolded for seeing patterns in shadows where others see nothing at all. Even now, whether you're aware or not, your mind dances to a distinct tune, a cadence that shapes your decisions, your dreams, your very essence. Carl Jung believed each soul carries within it a truth, an archetype of thought, a prism of perception, divided into four paths, four ways of seeing. The thinkers, minds of steel, architects of logic and order. The feelers, hearts ablaze, guided by the warmth of connection and values. The sensors, grounded in the soil of reality, masters of the tangible, the immediate. The intuitives, seekers of whispers beyond the veil, forever chasing the unknown. And yet, what if the path you've walked is not truly your own? Since your first breath, you've been shaped, sculpted, molded by the hands of family, the voices of teachers, the unyielding gaze of society. If your thoughts burned bright with logic, you were told to feel more deeply. If your heart overflowed with emotion, you were urged to rein it in. If your dreams soared high, you were tethered to the ground, called impractical. And if your eyes lingered on detail, they said you were rigid, too fixed, too small. But pause now and ask yourself, what if those expectations were never yours to bear? Jung believed most wander through life blind to the lens that colors their world, unaware that the view they see is but one fragment of the whole. To understand your nature, your dominant function, is to hold a mirror to your soul, to find power not in pretending, but in knowing. Yet there lies a deeper secret, one often left unsaid. Beneath the surface of your waking self, in the depths where your shadow dwells, waits a part of you, long neglected, yet yearning to be found. To know how you think, this is a gift, but to uncover what you've hidden, what you've ignored, that is where true freedom lies. So step forward, not as a prisoner of another's design, but as the keeper of your own mind's vast, uncharted landscape. But what is this hidden part of you, this fragment that whispers in dreams and lingers in silence? Jung spoke of the shadow. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. What if the dissonance you feel is not failure, but a calling? What if your struggles are not flaws, but signposts, beacons lighting the way to your forgotten self? Imagine for a moment the thinker, so steadfast in reason, learning to hear the quiet pulse of feeling. The feeler, driven by heart, daring to trust the cool edge of logic. The sensor, immersed in the real, glimpsing the vastness of the unseen. The intuitive, lost in dreams, grounding their visions in the earth beneath their feet. These are not contradictions. They are the pieces of a whole waiting to be reconciled. Have you ever looked into the mirror and felt a stranger staring back? Not a reflection of who you are, but of who you've been told to be. Society thrives on neat boxes and tidy definitions, on labels that soothe the mind but shrink the soul. Be this, it commands, but not that. And in the process, the infinite within you is trimmed, cut down to something manageable, something safe. But what is safe, if not another word for stagnant? Jung reminded us, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. So ask yourself, when was the last time you let your mind wander beyond its fences? When was the last time you followed a thought, not because it made sense, but because it felt alive? Your shadow is not your enemy. Nor is it your shame. It is the keeper of what you have cast aside, the dreams too wild, the feelings too deep, the truths too inconvenient. It waits patiently, not to judge, but to reunite. To understand this is to unlock a profound truth that no single idea, no single label can ever contain the fullness of a human being. You are not just a thinker, or a feeler, or a sensor, or an intuitive. You are all of them in shifting harmony, a symphony of thought and emotion, reason and wonder. As Jung once said, wholeness is not achieved by cutting off a portion of one's being, but by integration of the contraries. Dare, then, to see yourself whole. Dare to explore the parts of you that feel unfamiliar, even frightening, because in those uncharted places, you will find not just answers, but meaning. So step boldly into the mystery of who you are, not as the world defines you, but as you've yet to define yourself. But what does it mean to truly know yourself? To see the hidden currents that shape your every choice, your every hesitation, your every longing. Jung wrote, "Your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart." Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakes. The world trains us to look outward, at achievements, at possessions, at the masks we wear to please. But what if the most vital truths lie within? What if the answers you seek are not in the world's applause, but in the quiet moments when you dare to sit with yourself, unadorned, unfiltered, and raw? Pause for a moment. Think about the stories you tell yourself about who you are. Are they your stories? Or are they echoes of voices long past? A parent's expectations, a teacher's critique, a friend's passing judgment, a culture's rigid mold. And yet, beneath those stories, there is a deeper truth. A self untouched by time, untouched by opinion, waiting to be heard. But listening is not easy. It demands that we face our contradictions, our fears, our failures, our forgotten dreams. As Jung said, one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. It is in the darkness that we find our wholeness, not in the denial of it, but in the embrace. Think of the times you felt most alive. Were they moments of certainty, or were they moments when certainty crumbled and you stepped into the unknown? Because life is not a straight path, it is a labyrinth, a twisting, turning journey where every detour matters. The moments of doubt, of loss, of struggle, these are not distractions, they are the road itself. The thinker who learns to feel finds depth. The feeler who learns to think finds clarity. The sensor who dreams discovers possibility. The intuitive who grounds themselves gains wisdom. You are not one or the other. You are a becoming. And becoming is messy, uncomfortable. But it is also glorious. Jung warned, there is no coming to consciousness without pain. Yet what greater gift could there be than to wake up, to see yourself not as fragments, but as a whole, a paradox, a mystery? And what of the shadow, the parts of yourself you've hidden, rejected, or feared? Jung called the shadow the seat of creativity. Could it be that what you've denied is the very thing that will set you free? Imagine letting go of the need to be perfect. Imagine embracing your flaws, your contradictions, your humanity, not as weaknesses, but as the essence of what makes you uniquely you. The world may ask for conformity, but your soul longs for authenticity. Show me a sane man, Jung mused, and I will cure him for you. Because to live fully is to live in tension between what is and what could be, between the known and the unknown, between the safety of the familiar and the call of the wild. So I ask you now, who are you beneath the roles you play, beneath the expectations you carry? Who are you when you are alone with your thoughts, with your shadow, with your truth? And more importantly, who could you become if you let go of fear? Because the journey to yourself is not about finding, it is about remembering. It is about returning to the wholeness that has always been there, waiting. Step into yourself fully, not as an idea, but as a living, breathing paradox. And in that space, you will find not just who you are, but the infinite possibility of who you are yet to be. And yet, as you stand at the threshold of yourself, do you feel it? That hesitation, that whispering voice of doubt. Stay where it's safe, it says. Don't tread too far. Don't ask too much. But safety is a double-edged sword. It shelters, yes, but it also confines. Jung once wrote, "People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own souls." Why? Because to face your soul is to face your fears. The fear of being wrong, the fear of being vulnerable, the fear that who you are may not be enough. But let me tell you this, you are not your fears. You are not the stories others have written for you. You are the author, the pen in hand, and the page before you is blank. Imagine what could be written there if you dared to write in your own voice. The shadow you fear is not your enemy. It is the birthplace of your power. Every piece of yourself that you've pushed aside, every feeling you've silenced, every dream you've buried, these are not your weaknesses. They are your untapped strength. Jung believed that life's purpose is individuation, the journey of becoming who you truly are, not who you were taught to be, not who you pretend to be, but who you were always meant to be. And this journey, it is not linear, it is not tidy, it is a spiral, winding deeper with every step. There will be times when you fall. There will be times when the weight of the past feels unbearable. But even in those moments, you are growing. Even in the darkness, you are becoming. Do you know the story of the phoenix? How it burns itself to ash, only to rise again, brighter, stronger, renewed. That is the story of your soul. To become whole, you must let parts of yourself burn. The masks, the fears, the lies you've believed. And when the fire is done, you will not be less. You will be more. Jung said, "The shoe that fits one person pinches another. There is no recipe for living that suits all cases. So why try to fit into another's mold? Why shrink yourself to please the world when the world itself needs your unique light? Think of the great rivers, how they carve their paths through stone, not by force, but by persistence. Think of the stars, how they shine not despite the darkness, but because of it. You are no different. You are both river and star. And your journey is not to escape the darkness, but to transform it. So take the step into yourself, into your shadow, into the depths where your truest self waits. Not perfect, but whole. Not finished, but ever becoming. Because the truth is, there is no end to this journey. The horizon will always move. The questions will always evolve. But that is the beauty of it. To live is not to reach a destination, but to embrace the endless unfolding of who you are. So go. Be bold. Be curious. Be the one who dares to ask, what else is there within me? And in the asking, you will find the answer. But what of purpose? What of the question that haunts us all? Why am I here? Jung believed that the path to purpose is not found in the external world, but in the depths of your own being. Your sole purpose, he said, is to become yourself completely and unshakably. And yet, how often do we chase the mirage of purpose in the wrong places? In accolades, in wealth, in fleeting moments of approval. We build towers of achievement only to find them empty at the top. Because purpose is not something you find, it is something you uncover, like a treasure buried within, waiting to be unearthed. And here lies the paradox. Your purpose is both deeply personal and profoundly universal. Think of the roots of a tree. No two grow in the same direction, yet all are driven by the same instinct to anchor, to nourish, to seek life. So too are we. Each of us grows in our own way, guided by the quiet pull of what calls to us. For the thinker, purpose might lie in uncovering truths. For the feeler, it might bloom in the tender connection of souls. For the sensor, it could emerge in crafting something real. And for the intuitive, in daring to dream what others dare not. But no matter the path, purpose is never static. It evolves as you evolve. And to follow it is to surrender to the flow of life, not to fight the current, but to let it carry you, even when the waters grow dark and uncertain. Jung taught us to trust the symbols, the archetypes that appear in dreams and waking life. Have you noticed the patterns that keep finding you? The recurring images, the persistent themes? They are not coincidences. They are messages from your unconscious, clues to the purpose you seek. Everything that irritates us about others, Jung said, can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. What irritates you? What excites you? What fills you with wonder? And what leaves you restless and unsatisfied? These emotions, these reactions, are signposts on your journey. Follow them, and you may discover that purpose is not a grand, distant goal. It is a quiet presence already here in the small sacred moments of daily life. The way sunlight feels on your skin, the laughter shared with a friend, the spark of curiosity as you learn something new. Purpose is not something you achieve, it is something you live. And as you walk this path of becoming, do not fear the mistakes you will make. Do not fear the times you will lose your way. For even in the missteps, there is meaning. Jung reminded us, mistakes are, after all, the foundations of truth. And if a man does not know what a thing is, it is at least an increase in knowledge if he knows what it is not. So stumble if you must. Wander if you feel lost. For every step, even the uncertain ones, brings you closer to the essence of who you are. And when you falter, when the weight of it all feels too heavy, remember this: you are not alone. The same questions that burn within you have burned in the hearts of countless others. You are part of a story larger than yourself, a thread in the vast tapestry of existence. So walk boldly, knowing that your journey matters, not just to you, but to the world that is shaped by your becoming. And now, as you walk this unfolding path, pause for a moment and look around. What do you see? Perhaps it is not just your own journey, but the countless lives weaving alongside yours. Jung wrote, "I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become." But what of the choices you've inherited, the dreams passed down from your ancestors, the burdens borne by those who came before you? You are not an island. You are a constellation of stories, a tapestry woven from the threads of time. The love, the pain, the wisdom, the mistakes, they flow through you as rivers flow to the sea. Think of your legacy, not as something you leave behind, but as something you live right now in every word you speak. In every kindness you offer, in every truth you dare to tell. For even the smallest act ripples outward, touching lives you may never see. Like seeds scattered by the wind, your choices take root in the hearts of others. And what of those around you? The people who pass through your life. Some fleeting like shooting stars, others steady, like the sun rising each day. Jung believed in the profound power of connection. He said, "The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed." Think of the transformations you've sparked, the ways you've shaped the lives of others, and the ways they've shaped you. Every smile exchanged, every argument weathered, every shared silence is part of this great alchemy of being. And in this web of connection, there is a truth too often forgotten. You do not have to journey alone. The thinker may find solace in the logic of another mind. The feeler may discover strength in shared vulnerability. The sensor may be inspired by the imagination of a dreamer. The intuitive may be grounded by the steady presence of the realist. Together, we balance each other, completing what is missing, challenging what is stagnant, creating something greater than the sum of its parts. But even as we lean into community, let us not forget this. We cannot give what we do not first give to ourselves. To connect deeply, we must first know the depths within. To love wholly, we must embrace the wholeness of who we are. And to leave a meaningful legacy, we must live meaningfully, here and now. Jung once asked, "Where your fear is, there is your task." So, what are you afraid of? Is it the fear of being seen? The fear of failure? The fear of leaving this world unchanged? Let that fear guide you. Let it point you toward the places within that still need tending, still need light. Because to live fully is to live with courage. And courage does not mean the absence of fear. It means choosing to move forward, even when fear whispers that you cannot. And as you move, remember that this journey is infinite. It does not end with you. It stretches beyond, into those you touch, into the echoes of your actions, into the stories that will be told long after you are gone. You are not just a traveler, you are a guide, a beacon, a thread in the vast, unbroken weave of existence. So walk, not with haste, but with purpose, not with fear, but with wonder. And in every step, let the question linger. What will you create with the life you've been given? And as you journey through time, have you ever wondered where it all leads? Where does the path you walk, the choices you make, the love you give, the wisdom you seek, where does it all converge? Jung believed that the ultimate journey is not one of mere self-discovery, but one of spiritual union, a merging with the eternal, a returning to the source. The privilege of a lifetime, he said, is to become who you truly are. But what if who you truly are is not bound by the limits of this life, but stretches beyond it, into the very fabric of the universe itself? Look at the stars. They burn with a light older than our understanding, and yet they are not separate from us. Their dust, their fire, their very essence lives in our bones. For we are not just inhabitants of this earth, we are the earth, we are the stars, we are the pulse of the cosmos, breathing in and out with the rhythm of creation. And in this grand dance, we are both small and infinite, both transient and eternal. Jung spoke of the self, the central core of our being, where all parts of us converge. And though the self is boundless, it also lies within us, hidden in plain sight. Perhaps you've glimpsed it, in those rare moments when time stands still, in the quiet of a sunset, the stillness of a mountain, the tenderness of a deep, unspoken connection. In those moments, you know you are not separate from the world. You are the world, and the world is you. But even in the moments of clarity, there are shadows. There are questions, uncertainties, and fears that arise like storms. And that is part of the journey, the necessary contrast. For without shadow, there can be no light. Without pain, there can be no healing. Without loss, there can be no true understanding of love. So do not fear the dark moments. Do not fear the storms of life, for they are the very things that shape you, that refine you, that make the light you carry all the more brilliant. Jung said, "Wholeness is not achieved by cutting off a portion of one's being, but by integration of the contraries." And so, in this grand journey, we must learn to embrace both the light and the dark, the known and the unknown, the joy and the sorrow, the certainty and the doubt. For only then, in the totality of our experience, do we come to know the depth of who we are, the eternal truth that beats within us, a rhythm older than time itself. But what is this eternal truth? It is the truth of love, of connection, of the interconnectedness of all things. We are not isolated beings, but part of a greater whole, a grand web of life that stretches across time and space. You too are part of this web. Your actions, your thoughts, the energy you bring into the world all ripple out, touching others in ways you may never know. So ask yourself, how will you weave your thread into this tapestry? What will you leave behind? Not as an object, but as a legacy of your being, a ripple that will echo through the ages. And as you ask these questions, know this: you are never truly alone, for the universe is within you, as you are within the universe. The journey is both personal and universal. The path is yours, but it is also the path of every soul who has ever walked and ever will walk. Jung's wisdom is timeless. We are not what happened to us. We are what we choose to become. So choose now in every moment to become more than you have been, to reach beyond the boundaries of your own mind, to live as if the stars themselves are watching, and your life is the story they wait to hear. The truth is, the story is already unfolding. It has been unfolding since the moment you took your first breath and will continue long after your last. What matters is not the end, but how you walk the path, with courage, with love, with the unwavering belief that you are both a part of the eternal and the eternal part of you. And as you journey further, have you ever wondered what it means to truly live? Not merely to exist, not just to survive the days and months, but to live. To be so present in each moment that time itself seems to pause and the world reveals its hidden beauty. Jung spoke of the need to live authentically, to embrace the fullness of who we are, not just the parts we deem worthy, but the whole, the shadow and the light, the frailty and the strength, the moments of joy and sorrow, all woven together into the intricate fabric of our being. One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, he said, but by making the darkness conscious. And this is the truth, that to truly live is to embrace the totality of the human experience. It is to know the pain of loss and the sweetness of love, to feel the weight of loneliness and the warmth of connection. And in those moments of rawness, of being fully human, you discover something sacred, that every part of you, even the broken parts, are essential to the whole, because we are not meant to be perfect, we are meant to be whole. The journey of becoming is not about avoiding pain, it is about allowing it to shape us, to teach us, to awaken us to the depths of our being. The wounds we carry are not marks of failure, but symbols of our growth, our evolution, the depth of our humanity. And in this unfolding, we come to realize something profound. We are not alone in our suffering. We are not alone in our joy. For the very essence of being human is to share in the experience of life with others, to walk beside one another, to help one another rise. In the words of Jung, each man is an island, but the sea between him and others is made of the same water. And so, we are interconnected. What happens to one happens to all. Your pain is not just yours, it is the world's. And so too is your joy. The light you carry within you, the love you share, the wisdom you offer, it all ripples out, touching lives in ways you may never see, but in ways that matter nonetheless. This is the beauty of life, that it is a shared experience, that we are not solitary creatures, but part of the great web of existence. Our actions matter, our words matter, our love matters. But it is not enough to simply exist, not enough to merely move through the days. To live fully is to become conscious of every moment, to engage with life as it comes, with all its joy and sorrow, its uncertainties and certainties. It is to stand in the face of the unknown and say, I am ready. To embrace the mystery of life, the paradox of being both nothing and everything at once. To step into the abyss with open eyes, knowing that the abyss is part of you and you are part of it. The universe, with all its vastness, its stars and its storms, its silence and its song, is not separate from you. It is within you. You are made of the same dust, the same energy, the same sacred rhythm. And so, when you wonder what your life means, what your purpose is, look not outside, but within, for the answer is already there. In the quiet places, in the spaces between thoughts, in the stillness of the soul. It is not a grand revelation that will come from afar, but a soft unfolding, a whisper that grows louder as you listen. Jung wrote, your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakes. Awake then. Awake to the truth that you are both the seeker and the sought. You are both the question and the answer. The light and the shadow, the joy and the sorrow, the infinite and the fleeting. And in this awakening, you realize you are already whole. You are already enough. The journey was never about becoming someone else, but about remembering who you've always been. So live fully, live deeply, live as the universe intended you to live, not as a mere observer, but as a participant, a creator, a being in constant beautiful motion. For in the end, the true purpose of life is not to find meaning, but to create meaning, to craft a life that is yours, to offer the world your truest self, and to walk the path with courage and grace, knowing that the journey itself is the gift. And yet, as you continue on this path, you may wonder, if we are all connected, if we are all part of the same vast fabric of existence, why then does it feel at times as if we are so alone? Why, when the world is so full of life, Does the heart sometimes feel barren, like an empty desert where no footsteps have tread? It is in this very space, this space between connection and isolation, that the soul learns its most profound lesson, that the journey inward is the only path that truly leads us outward. Jung once wrote, "Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes." To look inside is not to retreat from the world, it is to embrace it more fully. For only by understanding your own depths can you understand the depths of others, and in turn, only by accepting your own shadows can you accept the shadows of the world. It is in the solitude that we are forced to face ourselves, to confront the parts we hide from others and from ourselves, the pain, the fears, the regrets. But it is also in this space that we begin to uncover our most authentic self, the one that is not shaped by expectation, but by the quiet truth that lies beneath. Do you hear it? That still small voice calling from the depths? It is the voice of your soul, the voice that speaks only when the noise of the world fades, the voice that has always known who you truly are, long before the labels, the expectations, and the judgments of others crept in. And so, the paradox of life is revealed. The more you turn inward, the more you discover the world. The more you seek to understand your own heart, the more you come to understand the hearts of others. In this deepening understanding, there is no division. There is no other. Only the same light and shadow that lives in you lives in all. And perhaps this is the true meaning of love. Not just the love between two people, but the love that is universal, that exists within and beyond all things. It is the knowing that we are all the same, that we all share the same breath, the same pulse, the same soul. Love is the thread that ties the entire universe together. It is the force that transcends time and space, the energy that fuels the cosmos itself. And the more you align yourself with this force, the more you align with your own true self. Jung said, "Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves." And perhaps it is in our frustrations with others, in the moments when we feel most alone, that we are given the clearest mirror. For the world is but a reflection of the inner landscape. When you are at peace within, the world reflects that peace. When you are full of anger or sorrow, the world reflects that as well. And so, the work is clear: to find peace within, to heal the wounds that lie in the depths of the soul, and in doing so, to heal the world. This is not a call to perfection. It is a call to authenticity, to live truthfully, to embrace the beauty and the mess of being human, to let your light shine, not in spite of your shadow, but because of it. For the shadow, too, is part of you. It is not to be feared, but to be understood, to be integrated into the wholeness of your being. And in this integration, you become a true force of transformation, not only for yourself, but for the world. And in this dance between light and shadow, you discover that there is no separation, no before or after, no right or wrong, only the eternal unfolding of life itself. The poet Rainer Maria Rilke once said, "Let everything happen to you, beauty and terror. Just keep going. No feeling is final." And so, let everything happen. Let the pain come. Let the joy come. Let the uncertainty come. Let the clarity come. For in each moment, you are becoming. You are unfolding. You are living. And in that living, you are creating. Not just for yourself, but for the world. So, embrace the journey, even in the moments when it feels dark, even when the path is unclear, for it is through the darkness that the stars shine brightest, and it is through the unknown that true wisdom is born. You are both the seeker and the sought, the dreamer and the dream, the question and the answer. And in the dance of becoming, you are both the artist and the canvas. So walk forward, not as someone who knows the way, but as someone who is willing to find it, one step at a time, one breath at a time. And when you look back, you will see that the entire journey was a masterpiece in itself, a work of art that only you could create. And so, as you walk this path, there may be moments when you feel lost, when the world seems distant, when the weight of uncertainty presses upon you, and you question if you will ever find your way. But remember this: in the deepest shadows, the seeds of growth are sown. It is when we are most lost that we are closest to finding our true direction. For the soul does not seek a straight path, but a winding one, a path full of turns, twists, hills, and valleys, where every step forward is not merely a movement in space, but a movement in consciousness. And in those moments of confusion, when the fog of doubt clouds your vision, trust this: you are exactly where you need to be. The journey is not about getting somewhere, it is about becoming. And becoming, as Jung knew well, is not a linear process. It is cyclical. It is a dance between the known and the unknown, between certainty and mystery. Your visions will become clear, Jung said, only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakes. In the stillness, in the quiet moments when you stop striving, when you cease trying to control every outcome, you begin to hear the voice of the heart, the voice that speaks without words, the voice that is not bound by time or space. This is the voice of wisdom, the voice of the soul, the voice of the universe. It is the whisper that tells you, you are enough, just as you are, that you do not need to change yourself to be worthy, that the very essence of who you are is sacred. And though the world may try to convince you otherwise, though the noise of society may pull you in 1,000 directions, you are the keeper of your own truth. No one can define you but you. No one can tell your story but you. You are the author of your own life. And each day is a new page, a new opportunity to write what has never been written before. So do not fear the blank pages. Do not fear the unknown chapters. For it is only through embracing the unknown that you will uncover the beauty of your own unfolding. Jung believed that the unconscious mind is vast, a realm of hidden treasures, a place where our truest selves wait to be discovered. But to access this treasure, we must be willing to dive deep, into the dark waters, into the unknown. It is only by surrendering to the mystery of life that we come to understand its meaning. For life is not a puzzle to be solved, but a riddle to be lived. And each riddle, each question, is an invitation to explore further, to grow, to evolve. You may never have all the answers, and that is okay. In fact, that is the point. The journey is not about finding certainty, but about embracing the uncertainty, letting it guide you like a compass, even when the path is not clear. For in the end, it is the questions that matter most, not the answers. It is the search for meaning that gives life its richness. And perhaps, as Jung suggested, the real work of life is not to solve the riddle, but to live within it, to walk the path with grace, with an open heart, and with the unwavering belief that even in the midst of uncertainty, you are exactly where you're meant to be. As you walk forward, remember, You are not alone. You are not a solitary being, but a part of the grand design, a note in the symphony of life, a thread in the tapestry of the universe. And as you embrace the mystery, as you surrender to the flow of life, you will begin to see the beauty in the chaos, the harmony in the discord. And in that moment, when you no longer seek to control but to live fully, you will discover that the greatest truth is not found in the answers, but in the question itself. So, ask, and ask again, and keep asking. For in the asking, you are becoming. And in becoming, you are creating the world, the life, the you, that only you can be. And so, as you move forward, there may be moments when you feel lost, when the world seems distant, when the weight of uncertainty presses down, and you wonder if you'll ever find your way. But remember this: in the deepest shadows, the seeds of growth are sown. It is when we are most lost that we are closest to discovering our true direction. For the soul does not seek a straight path, but a winding one, a path full of turns, twists, hills, and valleys, where every step forward is not just a movement in space, but a movement in consciousness. And in those moments of confusion, when the fog of doubt clouds your vision, trust this: you are exactly where you need to be. The journey is not about getting somewhere, it is about becoming. And becoming, as Jung knew well, is not a linear process, it is cyclical. It is a dance between the known and the unknown, between certainty and mystery. Your visions will become clear, Jung said, only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes. In the stillness, in the quiet moments when you stop striving, when you cease trying to control every outcome, you begin to hear the voice of the heart, the voice that speaks without words, the voice that is not bound by time or space. This is the voice of wisdom, the voice of the soul, the voice of the universe. It is the whisper that tells you, you are enough, just as you are, that you do not need to change yourself to be worthy, that the very essence of who you are is sacred. And though the world may try to convince you otherwise, though the noise of society may pull you in 1,000 directions, you are the keeper of your own truth. No one can define you but you. No one can tell your story but you. You are the author of your own life, and each day is a new page, a new opportunity to write what has never been written before. So do not fear the blank pages. Do not fear the unknown chapters, for it is only through embracing the unknown that you will uncover the beauty of your own unfolding. Jung believed that the unconscious mind is vast, a realm of hidden treasures, a place where our truest selves wait to be discovered. But to access this treasure, we must be willing to dive deep into the dark waters, into the unknown. It is only by surrendering to the mystery of life that we come to understand its meaning. For life is not a puzzle to be solved, but a riddle to be lived. And each riddle, each question, is an invitation to explore further, to grow, to evolve. You may never have all the answers, and that is okay. In fact, that is the point. The journey is not about finding certainty, but about embracing the uncertainty, letting it guide you like a compass, even when the path is unclear. For in the end, it is the questions that matter most, not the answers. It is the search for meaning that gives life its richness. And perhaps, as Jung suggested, the real work of life is not to solve the riddle, but to live within it, to walk the path with grace, with an open heart, and with the unwavering belief that even in the midst of uncertainty, you are exactly where you are meant to be. As you walk forward, remember, you are not alone. You are not a solitary being, but a part of the grand design, a note in the symphony of life, a thread in the tapestry of the universe. And as you embrace the mystery, as you surrender to the flow of life, you will begin to see the beauty in the chaos, the harmony in the discord. And in that moment, when you no longer seek to control, but to live fully, you will discover that the greatest truth is not found in the answers, but in the question itself. So ask and ask again and keep asking, for in the asking, you are becoming. And in becoming, you are creating the world, the life, the you that only you can be. And as you continue forward, there may be moments when you wonder, how can I move through this? How can I face this challenge, this uncertainty, this shadow that seems to grow ever larger? But perhaps that is the point, to face it, not with resistance, but with acceptance. For it is only in embracing the shadow that we learn to live fully in the light. And though the road may seem treacherous, know this: it is in the treacherous path that we often find our true strength. It is not in avoiding the storm, but in dancing through it that we come to know who we really are. As Jung said, one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. It is the darkness, the unknown, the places that we fear to venture. These are the places where we meet ourselves. So when you find yourself standing at the edge, on the precipice of doubt or fear, ask yourself, what is this trying to teach me? What is hidden in this moment, waiting for me to uncover it? For there is always something to learn, a truth waiting just beyond the veil, a lesson waiting in the heart of every struggle. As Rumi says, don't grieve. Anything you lose comes round in new form. The challenges are not obstacles. They are invitations, invitations to grow, to expand, to stretch into the fullness of who you are meant to be. And when you feel yourself faltering, when the weight of the world seems too much to bear, remember, strength is not in never falling, but in rising again and again, with every fall wiser, stronger, more resilient. It is in the rising that you find your true power. It is in the acceptance of both the light and the dark, the known and the unknown, that you unlock the full potential of your being. For life is not a straight line. It is not a journey to be completed, but a dance to be lived, a song to be sung, a story to be written with every breath. And though you may not always know the way, there is beauty in the not knowing, in the mystery, in the unfolding. In the trust that the path will reveal itself when the time is right. As you continue on, know this: you are not walking this path alone. The universe, in all its vastness, walks with you, guiding you with subtle whispers, pushing you gently forward, always, always leading you toward your own becoming. Every thought you think, every feeling you feel, every experience you have is a step on the road to understanding. And though it may not always make sense, know that each step, each misstep, is shaping you into the person you are meant to become. So keep walking with courage, with faith, with an open heart. For the answers are not found in the destination, but in the journey itself. And in the end, when you look back at the path you've traveled, you will see that it was not the destination that mattered, but the becoming, the transformation, the discovery of yourself in each moment. For as Jung believed, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are, and that privilege, that gift, is yours, right here, right now. So let the journey continue. With every step, with every breath, with every choice, you are becoming, and in your becoming, you are creating a life that is uniquely, beautifully yours. And now, as the journey draws to a close, we come to realize that the road is not an end, but a beginning, a place where all that we have learned, all that we have become, converges into something new. For life, in its essence, is not about the destination. It is about the unfolding of who we truly are, the constant becoming, the dance between the known and the unknown, the light and the shadow. We are not meant to be perfect. We are meant to be real, to feel, to grow, to explore. And in that exploration, in that constant reaching towards something greater, we find meaning, we find ourselves, we find others. So as you take the next step, remember, the journey never ends. It evolves, it transforms, and it's yours to shape. I encourage you to reflect on what you've discovered here today. What truths have you unearthed about yourself? What has the journey taught you? How do you see your path unfolding? I would love to hear your thoughts, your experiences, your reflections. Let's start a conversation. In the comments below, share what has resonated with you, what questions you're still grappling with, and what new questions this journey has sparked within you. For it is in the sharing, in the exchange of ideas, that we truly learn and grow together. So, my fellow travelers, keep walking your path, keep asking the questions, and keep becoming. The universe is waiting for your unique song. Don't be afraid to sing it. And that's where we wrap this journey. Thank you again for being part of it. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. What stood out to you? What are your own experiences with growth and self-discovery? Let's discuss and continue the conversation.